In late May, Confederate statues, some more than 100 years old, were removed from public display in public places here in New Orleans. The man giving that order was Mayor Mitch Landrieu.
The Civil War continues to be relitigated over time. I don't understand why we continue to relitigate it. Historically, the Confederacy, which was never a formal governmental entity, fought to destroy the United States of America over the issue of slavery. That is a historical fact that we now need to confront and to accept. We also can clearly say, now that we're so far removed from it, that the Confederacy was on the wrong side of history, because the cause of the Civil War was to deny the humanity to millions of our brothers and sisters who were African American. And I just wanted, as the leader of a southern city, a modern southern city in 2018 that's getting ready to celebrate their 300th anniversary, who was really thinking about what kind of symbols that we had in our city and asked whether or not that reflected the totality of who we are. These Confederate monuments in prominent places of reverence, I mean in our most prominent spaces, were really kind of an affront to our identity, and really was a historic misrepresentation, and then finally crowded out all of the other history that we have that we've never really celebrated. So the Essence Music Festival, for example, really celebrates an entire another part of our history. We sold more people into slavery in New Orleans than anywhere else in the country, but there are no slave ship monuments here. There are no slave blocks that people were sold off of. There are no nooses that reflect where the lynchings were. And so I accuse the quote-unquote historians of historic malfeasance, because they just forgot to tell the whole story, and then they co-opted a piece of land that was owned by the public. That seemed to me to be wrong. Wow. And it seemed to be unjust to ask African American citizens, 67% of whom make the majority of our city, to walk by pieces of property that they own and ostensibly be forced to genuflect before a statute that was put up to say that they were less than human. Now, I just don't find what's so cataclysmic about that in 2018, and it's sad that the response, mostly from people outside of New Orleans, was so threatening. But they engaged in actions that, in my opinion, were tantamount to burning a cross on people's lawns to intimidate them into not telling the true story and our true history. And I just believe that we're better together than we are apart, and I think that we should be looking forward, not back. But you cannot look forward unless we acknowledge what we did wrong, unless people accept an open and an honest apology, and until they forgive. You can't have reconciliation unless you have that, and I don't think that should be so hard for us now in the dawning of the 21st century.